Oh, hey guys, sorry. I'm back. Okay, so let's just get right into this. And before I start, like, sorry if I get kind of like passionate or emotional. Like, this is insane, dude. This is so insane. Like, I don't know what's going on, like in this, like how this stuff is happening with how it connects to me. Like, I don't know why, and like the ways that it does connect. It's just like I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't. And um like this event is going to connect to everything I was just talking about, or I was sharing with like Shelley Duvall and put that in my community 2 days ago. So let's just get right into that. So this everyone knows what happened yesterday, right? Don't really have to talk about it too much, but I'm going to connect it to this verse, Revelation 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. I thought it was really interesting too that shooting equals 133. So by the end of this, if you stick around, I'm just gonna prove that like this information that I have to share is gonna prove that the Bible is real. Like it's the the Bible is connected to everything that's going on around us, and this is going to be a perfect example of that. So, sorry, I'm kind of eating, but let's go back to the community post that I posted. And then, so keep in mind, I posted this 2 days ago on July 11th when she died, when Shelley Duvall died. And so I'm going to share the slides that I made about that. And that is going to connect to all this because, Shelley Duvall, she died on the 193rd day of the year. And that caught my attention because I knew that JFK, he died on his 193rd mercurial birthday. And that was that caught my attention even more because I know that the 193rd prime is, or 193 is a 44th prime number. And I was thinking about my dad because she's famous for this picture of her smoking a cigarette, and cancer equals 44. But I don't think I even talked about it in this like decode. So, or not yet, at least. I'll get to it. So look at this. The 136 has to do with the magic square of Jupiter. It's a 4x4 grid, and it's all the numbers between 1 and 16. And when you add all the numbers between 1 and 16, so 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, all the way to 16, they sum up to 136. So keep the 136 in mind. So I had this crate 2 days before she died, 2 days before Shelley Duvall died. I pointed it out too. I pointed out this crazy synchronicity with me and JFK on 7/9. So that was the day that I turned 136 mercurial years. And on that same day, that was 60 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days after JFK's death. So while I'm sharing this stuff, like keep in mind how this was like leading up to what happened on the 13th, 4 days after, or 2 days after I posted this. So I was talking about JFK and how it connected to. Yeah, so like I said, he died on his 193rd mercurial birthday as a 44th prime. And so then I synced up with this day with him on my 136th mercurial birthday. And this has to do with 4 and 4 too, because like I showed you the magic square of Jupiter. And what's crazy is when you go from my birth to 4/4/16, the date, it's 1,278 weeks exactly. And John Fitzgerald Kennedy equals 1278, just like that. Like what? Like that is that the odds of that are literally impossible. That's literally impossible for like if this was the only connection that I had, then I wouldn't think much of it. But then like I end up lining up with him on this day with the 44 stuff, because I think I skipped it when I showed you, or I think I mentioned it. Yeah, his name equals 193. Her name equals 193 too. I think I put it in later, but so yeah, keep in mind, like, I was making these connections with her and JFK, and I don't think I didn't see anybody else, like connecting her with JFK, but it kind of sounds random. Like, oh, Casey, what's up, man? Thanks for being here. But yeah, I'm like, I ended up stumbling upon it, and I was just, it was pretty undeniable. But I'm gonna solidify by the end of this that she is like, her death and like all that stuff that happened a few days before was like perfectly lined up with the whole thing that happened with Trump. So there's that. And then so Shelley Duvall, she was famous for being in the movie The Shining. She was famous for this. And when you go from the release of The Shining to that day that me and JFK synced up, the 7/9, it was 4/4/16% of a common year. 4/4/16, like I showed you that on that day I turned 136 mercurial years on that day, the 7/9. And again, the 136 is the magic square of Jupiter, 4x4. All the numbers between 1 and 16. For the numbers associated with Jupiter are 4, 16, 34, and 136. So 16 is the highest. 4 times 4 is 16. Like, what are the freaking odds of that? That she ends up dying like 2 days after. And when you look at, so, I think I had put the end date, because when you put, you'll see, like, if you were to try it, you would see that it crosses it. I think it starts at the 4/4/15%, and then when you, with the end date, it's 4/4/16. So that means that it crosses over the 4/4/16% of a common year on like perfectly after the release of The Shining. So that's freaking crazy. Yeah, Shining equals 44. Okay, so now we've established that with, I was connecting, JFK with her, and then what was going on with me too. So now let's move on to this stuff with Trump. So Revelation 13:3, which I read about the deadly head wound, it's the 30,912th verse of the whole Bible, and I'm going to convert that into this date: 3/9/12, 3/9/12, March 9th, 2012. So when you go from 3/9/12 to that event, it was 12 years and 18 weeks. Look, and I'm not going to read it just because I don't know if it's going to mess with like my video or whatever, but like, just look at how perfect that is. I think this is proof of the Bible. Can you guys like give me some feedback on that? Like, do you guys, is this not insane? Revelation 13:3, 30,912th verse of the whole Bible. Again, you know what it's about, right? Deadly head wound. From 3/9/12 to that was 12 years, 18 weeks. Trump, blah, 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 attempt 12/18. Just so perfect. So perfect. All right. Now, going from that verse or that same date that represents Revelation 13:3 to the day that me and JFK synced up, it was 60 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days after his death, which was my 136th mercurial birthday. It was exactly 148 months. Head wound is 148. Head shot is 136. Are you guys understanding this? Like, what the heck? And this is just gonna get crazier. Like it really does. So I have a lot to share, so I'm just gonna try to stop rambling so much. I want to get through as much as I can. But if anyone wants me to slow down, please let me know in the comments. So this verse, the Latin value, you see it's the whole verse. It equals 9,730. And then I'm going to convert that into this date, 9/7/30. So from 9/7/30 to Shelley Duvall's death, so that ended up being 190. So I'm going from this year. So it's still 9/7/30. Like it still is that, just back 100 years. But this kind of proves that is like a valid technique, because it was 193 years, 44 weeks before her death. And yeah, so yeah, Shelley Duvall equals 193, and 193 is the 44th prime. So like this was brewing up. This was like brewing up, and like when she died, it was like a sign like that this thing was about to happen. Yes, can you guys see where I'm coming from? Like that. This is wild to me. One more time. So Revelation 13:3 with a deadly head wound, 9/7/30. From 9/7/30 to Shelley Duvall's death, 193 years and 44 weeks. And again, like I told you, how 2 days before that I had lined up with JFK, and that was 60 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days after his death, where he died on his 93rd mercurial birthday. It's insane. So this was a huge synchronicity with just her death. Like right when she died, this was the first thing I noticed, and that's when I just knew, like I knew this was bigger than just some random celebrity death. This was just between me and her, or my dad. So she died on the 193rd day of the year. She died with 173 days left in the year. So my dad died of lung cancer at age 40 from smoking cigarettes. 173 is the 40th prime. And then 193 is the 44th prime. Cancer equals 44. And she's like famous for this picture. This is like one of her most well-known pictures, with her smoking the cigarette. And yeah, like that is insane. So right when I saw that, I was just that I was like, oh my God, like this is huge. And then I realized the JFK stuff, and then so Shelley Duvall's her birth to my birth, it was exactly 507 months, and this is a father reference, a huge father reference, because Pope. We're gonna talk about Pope Francis. Pope means father, and when Pope Francis, when he became the Pope, it was on 3/13/2013, and so first of all, 507, Pope Francis equals 507, but the prime factorization of 507 is 3 times 3. Oh, sorry, I meant to put 13. 3, 13, 13. So it's not 3, it's 3, 13, 13. So it's the date that he became the Pope. So we are that many months apart exactly. And I actually, I used her birthday in one of my decodes from before. Like, I didn't even know that it was her birthday, but I was thinking about her birthday being 7749, because that has to do with the magic square of Venus. I think I'll talk about it in a little bit, but yeah, you can even see that, like, it was on around June 24th, but it was like a few days after that. I used her birthday in my decode to figure this out, and then it just ended up lining up perfectly with her unfortunate death. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but so looking at the 507, so this is going to make this even crazier. Like, just this in itself is already, the connections with Pope Francis and Father and all that. But when you look at the time of 5:07 p.m., that's 17 hours and 7 minutes into the day. So the reason why that connects to me and my dad is because he was 1707 weeks when I was born. And I turned 1707 weeks, exact age that he was when I was born, on this date here. And this was another huge freaking day. And it's going to connect to all the stuff that just happened. It is. I'm going to show you. Just wait. Like, I'm telling you, it's freaking insane. You're not even going to believe it. So first of all, this was what really just cracked open this whole synchronicity for me. This day was the 307th anniversary of Freemasonry. And this show right here, thank you to my mentor, Casey Jones, for informing me about this show, which is about a guy named Sean who loses his dad. That's like the premise of the show. That's not even like, it's not even just like something that happens in the show. You can read the premise of the show, and that is what it's about. It's insane. And it's like talking about like a lodge. I knew that the 49 represented Venus right away, which is why I went from 7749 to my birth. But so the first episode of Lodge 49, August 6, 2018, to the day that I turned 1707 weeks, that was 307 weeks. So that date was lined up perfectly with actual Freemasonry. Like, on the 307th year, it was 307 weeks after this show, the first episode. And then the 307 matches with the 507 again, because 307 minutes into the day is 5:07 a.m. And now this. So after that, hopefully that's clear. So he was freaking 28,500 days on that day. And look at this. I'm not gonna say it, but look at this. So he He was 28,500 days old on that day. That, like, all that stuff connected, and then how it connected with Shelley Duvall, and then everything I just showed, and it's just, I'm gonna probably confuse you if I try to reiterate it, but I think it makes a lot of sense. So also think how interesting it is that that day is the nativity of John the Baptist, who had this happen in the Bible. So there's this interesting connection with, like, the you know what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know what words I should say or not, but you know what I'm getting at. It's pretty clear. So even with the stuff without my dad and me in that show, whatever, just this fact alone, the fact that he was 28,500 days old on the nativity of John the Baptist, that is crazy. Just that, because of, this. Now, after what I shared with all that was Shelley Duvall, how is it that same day, Shifty Shell Shock dies at age 49 on that day? So there's a clear connection with, like, Shell that's following me. Like, totally. Another thing, I guess, for anyone out there who's, like, into the astrology stuff. So my dad was he died of cancer, like I mentioned, and cancer, the symbol is a crab, and he raised me eating seafood, like shellfish, and and I love shellfish. I truly do. But that's just a little fun detail. But anyways, okay, so that 49, looking at that 49 again, because we saw how that day connected with Lodge 49, and then this guy dies at age 49, Shifty Shell Shock, and then I have that crazy synchronicity with Shelley Duvall. Like, what the heck? And she was born on 7. Well, I'm gonna get into it. Okay, so 49. This is what I mentioned about the magic square of Venus. It's a 7x7 grid. All the numbers between 1 and 49. 49 is the highest, and so it's 7x7 grid. So she, I should have put it. I don't know why I didn't put it, but her birthday was 7749, and he died at age 49. Shelley Duvall, Shifty Shell Shock, and shells are a symbol of Venus. Okay, so now think about that, all that with the shells, and now think about this. Well, before we do that, now how he ties into all that too is because we're looking at the magic square of Venus. It's when you add all the numbers between 1 and 49, it adds up to 1225. 1225. And 1225, that is the 35th square, and JFK was the 35th president. So, like, how perfect is it that all that stuff, like with him, with it being 60 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days after his death, then, like, she dies, like, right after. So this is what I was trying to get at. So think about shells and like everything going on right now. Like what happened yesterday. So you see here, shells equals 285. I think that's perfect. And as you can see, the definition of shelling. I think you know what I'm trying to get at right here. And copper is the metal of Venus. Okay. So shells, like there's no like you guys I'm not reaching, right? Like you guys see this, right? I'm not tripping. I don't believe so. So now, with that in mind, with what we looked at with the shells and Venus, now let's think about this Super Bowl 58, which just happened. And I just want to see, is my audio still okay? Can you guys let me know if my audio is still okay? So Super Bowl 58. Yeah, so of course the 49ers were in it. No surprise there. And I'll show you why that's even more like significant after this. But I thought about the Venus copper bullets. Copper is totally copper. 49ers, Venus. And then, we have the Chiefs commander-in-chief. I know he's not the commander-in-chief right now, but it's like that whole theme is still like it's there, it's there. So Super Bowl 58, that actually was really connected to my dad too, which is, it's interesting because father is 58 and 104. And Super Bowl 58 was the 104th NFL season, where it concluded the 104th NFL season. And what's interesting is that I watched the Super Bowl Super Bowl in San Diego. So think about my initials, but also San Diego. Known like one of their famous teams is the Padres. Padres father. And that Super Bowl ended up having a shooting. The parade for that Super Bowl ended up having a shooting. Isn't that weird? And it was on 2/14. And Revelation 13:3 is the 214th verse of Revelation. So that is perfect too, you know? You know what I mean? All right. Now this is where this is just insane. This part is, I don't even know what to. Oh my God. So that day, that was 60 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days after his death. It was, he would have been exactly 5,589 weeks. And so look at this, the score of the Super Bowl was 22-25, and 2225 is 5 times 5 times 89. The prime factorization of 2225 is 5 times 5 times 89. You see that? That is perfect. And that's why it's so mind-blowing that I turned 136 Mercury years on that same day. This was so freaking coded. So this Super Bowl, that had the 49ers, Venus, bullet, shells, copper, all that. And then the commander-in-chief. This Super Bowl, the parade had a shooting. And then the score of it was 2225 5 times 5 times 89. He was 5,589 weeks on the day. That was 60 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days after his death. Like, that is crazy. That is crazy. And I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anybody really like talking about the JFK with what just happened. But look at that, there's so much. It's like ridiculous. So, furthermore, I mentioned how this connects to like the whole father thing with Pope Father. So when you go from the day that he became the Pope, 3/13/13, which again that equals 507, and I was born 507 months after Shelley Duvall, to the Trump's, I'm gonna call it AA. So Trump's AA. There's 136 months exactly. Like how I just turned 136 mercurial years on this crazy day that was connected to him. And then like everything I'm showing you with the father stuff, like that Super Bowl 58, one father's 58 and 104, Super Bowl 58 ended the 104th NFL season. Like this, I have no idea what is going on. So it was 136 months after he became the Pope. Father. Like, okay, so this is a little recap. I shared this back at the end of June, and this is what just made this so, like, I pretty much discovered that I am connected to the Bible and me and my family, and it's not a conjecture. This is proof of it. I'm sorry if like anything that I say sounds like narcissistic. I just don't know how else to interpret it. I don't know. Like, I feel like as much as I've found, if I'm still convinced I'm not connected to the Bible, I'm in denial. I would have to be in denial. So just please bear with me when I say crazy things like that. But like, I try to prove it as much as as much as I can. And I'm pretty sure like stuff like this is more than enough proof. So I shared this verse, and I was comparing it to like my dad. The temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God, from his power. And like the body, or the Bible says your body is a temple. That's another reason why it made a lot of sense to me. And no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues and 7 angels were fulfilled. So there's that Venus connection again, 7 and 7. This was the 30,955th verse of the whole Bible. So on that, like, if you remember, my dad was 101,707 weeks when I was born. And when you convert that into this date, to my birth, is 30,955 days. Like, this verse is the 30,955th verse of the whole Bible. And it turns out that Shelley Duvall, she equals 158. So that's just absolutely perfect. And then the day that she died, there's a cathedral fire. I didn't even add this. I should have, but Cody talked about it. He did a great job of breaking that down. And then I pointed out that my mom, she was 676 months on the day that I became the age that my dad was when I was born. So this date, the Saint John the Baptist Day, she was 676 months, and that verse is 676. The one I just showed you, look, and the temple was filled with smoke. So this verse is 676. My mom was exactly 676 months on the day that I was this many weeks, and then from when you convert this to my birth is that verse. Do you see how do you see how unbelievable that is? Do you can it makes me choke up every time I see it. I can't help it. I can't help it. And this should blow your mind, what I'm about to show you next. So 676 is a 26 square, and Cancer equals 26. So, and that's perfect because I was thinking about my dad's death with this verse, and he died of cancer. So it was just just absolutely perfect. Now look at this. So 76 is a 26 square. 26 times 26. Look at what equals 26, 26. Are you guys freaking seeing this? This was and I shared that that is absolute proof that I'm on point. That's absolute proof. He was on that day, the 624 date. Remember, that was the day that he was 28,500 days old. And then I already I showed you that. Dang, so far away. Yeah, this equals 285. Then I had that whole on that same day, that synchronicity with my dad, and that Bible verse, and my mom. And then that equals 26, 26. And then I end up lining up with freaking JFK. And that's another thing that sounds freaking crazy for me to say, and probably stupid. Wouldn't be able to say that in public because people would just think I'm crazy. But no, I know for a fact. I'm not gonna. I can't even I can't say that there's even any chance that I'm not connected. And it's with my dad's death. I just thought that it was for my whole life. I thought it was just gonna be. It was just any other person, any other person who lost a parent, and it was oh, it's not a big deal. But how is he connected to these freaking presidents and these crazy events? And I had to have been born at the perfect time for all this to line up. Now, looking at the 676, right? 676, 26 square. So when you go from 676 to, this is my 26th birthday. So 676 to my 26th birthday is 136 months exactly. Just like how he became, from when he became the Pope on 3/13/13. Father Pope. I've said it so many. I repeated it so many times. I hope you guys understand why I'm why this is such a big deal. Thing about the Pope. Okay, Father, all this stuff. It's the father part. It's the father part. So he was it was 136 months. This thing happening after he became the Pope on this date, which I showed it already, why that's so coded. So I was it was exactly 136 months as well, from 676 to my 26th birthday. That is impossible. It's impossible for all this stuff. I'm literally I don't freaking know, dude. I really don't freaking know. And again, I'm sorry for just letting it all out. Like, this stuff has been driving me crazy. Like, I just don't know what to. Now check this out. So when you go from my 26th birthday, which I just showed you, to the day that was 60 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days after his death, is 676% of a common year. Like, what the heck? That's like, that's freaking crazy. That's freaking crazy, dude. Like, what the heck? And like, and I checked too, like, because it's the span. So again, it crosses over. Like, this day is the perfect day because, like, without the end date, it would be like 675.89%, and then with end date 676.16. So it crosses over the 676% of a common year. So my 26th birthday, like what I just showed, what I'm showing here, like, it couldn't have just been enough that just this, that, you know, this 136, I happened to line up with him perfectly. Because remember, this is my 136 mercurial birthday. This is my 136 mercurial birthday. So that's, oh my God, dude. Like the same day that it was 60 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days after JFK's death. Like, what? Now, she's so connected to him. Like, so I already mentioned that she died on the 193rd day of the year. And he died on his 193rd mercurial birthday. So when she died, it was 107 years and 44 days after his death. Shooting equals 107 and 44. Perfect. Just absolutely perfect. Like, by now, this is proof that her death was totally, like, it was like I guess it was like a, like a foreshadow or something, but leading up to what happened yesterday with Trump. And it's crazy because most of this decode isn't even, I'm barely even talking about Trump, but all this background information totally explains what happened yesterday. And it sounds so random that, like, I would have connected them, like I was connecting me and him and her. Sounds so random, but I'm proving that it's not. I'm proving that it's not random. And you guys remember this? This was when he took his headshot. So interestingly, so, like, there's the theme with, like, the headshot and the head wound. My mom was 666 months on this day. So after all that, and I've shown that my mom is part of this too with the 676. So she was 666 months old on this day. Like, what the heck is going on? I'm not even, I don't know if people think I'm lying about this stuff. Like, the amount of feedback that I get, like, it really is like it's quality over quantity. Like, I appreciate the very few amount of feedback that I get about how crazy all this is, but I just can't. I can't believe it, dude. Like, I'm like doing my best. This is undeniable. Like, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm being, like, so immature, but I don't. It's hard, man. It's freaking. My emotions are all over the place. My emotions are everywhere. I want to be chill about this. Like I try my best. Like I really do. Sometimes I just, and just to, finish it off. I think this is the last slide. There might be another one after. Oh, there's one more. Okay. So after all that I showed you, so this verse equals 9, 7, 30. And when you go from my birth to 9, 7, 30, the value of Revelation 13:3 about the deadly head wound is exactly 467 months. And that verse also equals 467 in Chaldean when you include the phrase Revelation 13:3 in the beginning. So what the heck? Like, why? Why? And this is, I'll just finish it. I know people are probably getting sick of me. The same day, Shannon Doherty died of cancer. On that same day. SD, my initials, cancer, how this whole everything has had to do with like my dad and him dying of cancer. And she ends up dying of cancer on that day. It's just unreal. I feel bad. Like I hope these people aren't actually dying just because I would just, that's just me being more optimistic. Like I feel bad about people dying, So it's really, it's a shame. It's unfortunate, but like after putting all that together and then like finding out that she died on that same day and had all of those connections with like this stuff here, I tried so hard not to say this word, but this stuff has clearly been following me my whole life. And it's weird because when you think about like my dad and lung cancer, like you would never think about connecting that with like this, but it took me this long to stumble upon it. And like I don't know how I did it. Like I really don't know how I figured all this out. That's another reason, like I want that to be like a testament to show that like it really is God like giving me all, like, because I cannot put all this together on my own. I can never. I can't even do the most. I'm so bad at like doing basic like things that most people should be good at, like freaking paying bills on time and stuff like that. But this information like that has just like foul into my lap, and I'm just like, what the heck? This really just takes. I just don't know. I feel like I just feel so defeated. But yeah, it seems like everyone's kind of over it. Most people, but I appreciate the few people who've been here like so much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just thank you guys. And again, sorry for not being able to handle this well at all. Like at all. I can like fully admit that. And yeah, I'm sorry. But I just hope that this helps you out in some way, like I'm not sure how it's supposed to. Even the ways that I know that it helps me and why I do this. It's like I consciously know it, but I can't even explain it in words. It's like something I could just feel. So in terms of being able to, like how I would be able to define how it should help you. Like, I don't know if I could put that into words. It's just, I just know that I know it has the potential to be really helpful, you know. Like, I feel like this kind of stuff is like, I don't know, it's like literally proving that it's like proving that we're like, that there's something out there, you know. It proves that there's something out there. Like, this kind of information could be like when they like discovered gravity or something, you know. I know that sounds narcissistic, but it's freaking insane. And I hope people believe me. Like, I hope people don't think I'm like lying just to make, like, I'm not lying about any of this. So that's all. I'll start saying bye to people. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Coffee Girl, as always. Thank you, Great Calm. Thanks, Casey. Nice to see you, Cable Dialectics. Thanks for being here. Arjali 69. Thank you too. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you, Skeptical. I think that's everybody. So yeah, take care. God bless. Bye.